Vicky Retro Queen Bee Art. Let's be busy in art. This is in the series of 10 of 100 teabag ephemera. And this is the brown paper bag topped with tea bags. I first outlined the embossing folder with pencil so I could get an idea of the size that I need to make on top of the brown paper bag. And this particular project, you do not need anything even Stevens. Even Stevens, you can patchwork all you want as long as you cover the area that your embossing folder is going to be at with teabag. And I glue them on with a stick after I measured them out. Brown paper bag topped with teabag. We are now getting them ready to be embossed through the Big Shot machine. If you do need a Big Shot machine, well, maybe you can borrow one. Maybe you know a crafter who has one and they'll let you use it. Otherwise, you could get a small one to begin with and go that route. They're not as much money. Here I'm just putting gel medium over the top of the tea bags. Then they're dried. I've cut them out and I placed them inside the embossing folder and I've embossed them, and this is the first one. This is the 3D embossing. A little bit different texture. The design is not one of my favorites. I did get this on eBay, but I thought I would try it out. It was at a good price. I'm using oxides, not inks, oxides. So I can apply the pink and purple and add a little bit of water to let the oxide do its stuff. This one I'm adding 2 shades of green. I do like this pattern a lot. And spray it and have the oxide do its thing. I like this one as well. It was a pretty flower pattern, and with the oxide I think I used Mariner on this particular one, and then I too sprayed it eventually with water. I had to put several coats, and then this is after sprayed with water. I just let it do its thing. And if a little smudge here and there happens, I don't mind, but you can take it off with a baby wipe if you want. This one I just did regular ink with black. Then I'm going to make a pocket out of one of them to show you here how it goes into a journal. I'm doing gold speckles and I'm lining it with gold as well. I have this beautiful butterfly out of cloth and it has some clear in it, and so you can see the green in the underneath the pattern. It looks really cool. This is a gel medium that I'm using to place the butterfly on. I always use golden fluid gel medium when I'm working like this. Also with my teabag application, I use the same medium. I put the medium on top of the cloth butterfly and on the bottom, and it sticks really well. I don't know if you can see, but where it's clear there in the cloth, clear cloth, it is picking up the pattern underneath there. All right, then with this piece, now we need a card, and I decide to do a Doppler embossing. The Doppler is creating an area where I'm going to just put a linen type of glaze over it. It did a little bit for it, but not enough. And so I decide to add some more glaze. This is a campfire glaze, and I did some outlining. It's looking a little better. So I add some more outline, and I'm going to put some more campfire glaze to highlight the flower. This is a mixed media flower, and so it has a lot of detail and leaves and every kind of layers you can think of underneath it. So I'm trying to just get it to pop up, look like a little more of a flower for my particular card, and I really like how the campfire did that. Then I add the crystal to the butterfly. I'm just going to make it shiny, a little bit shiny, and it does work for me. It just pops it a little bit. This particular card, I have this in my Ko-fi shop. It's not as a card, but it is a piece of background mixed media. I decide here to add speckles with gold. And then I want to paint it around the edge as well to match the pocket that it's going to go into. I will link in the bottom of the description here where that particular piece of paper is in my Ko-fi shop. So you could take a peek at it. All right, so I'm adding the glue here around the pocket. And I'm looking at it, and then I find out, ooh, I need a little more room for that pocket. So I take it off, I bend it around, re-glue it, and make a little bit of room on top of there by just kind of squeezing it a little bit inward a little bit. And I find it's not quite working on that inner area there. I'm messing with it, holding the glue down. Sometimes you have to do that in the junk journal world. You've got to hold it down a little bit more and monkey with it to get it to work. I decided to put a topper on the card, and I'm got some material here, some netting, I put a little paper strip on the top of the card there. I did paint the back of it gold to give it some character. And I'm just going to staple it. You can't see that part. I took it off camera, sorry. And I noticed that little piece, that end is bugging me again. And I am going to just have to hold it. I don't want the card to go all the way down in the pocket anyway, because I love that flower and the pattern, and I like how it decorates the page. And here it is finished, and I did get it to work after all.